This is Transposition Sports. I'm Carly Webb. Right at the top, the continuing saga of Dutch darts player Noah Lynn van Leuven tonight. Noah Van Noah Lynn van Leuven has been in the news, not only news in Europe and in the United States in recent days after winning a tournament in the UK, and then some members of our team deciding that we don't want you to play with us anymore. Let's go to the videotape. Leuven just a couple of days ago, showing right here, winning quite big. Thank you. Getting it done against Ireland's Katie Sheldon, getting this win right here. Look at the precision. Look at the wrist. And getting the win. And right after that, two members of the Dutch national darts team left the team because of Noah Lynn being there. But Noah Lynn, she's not phased at all.
I've had really positive things. I had some bad things. It's been a lot of media involved. Did a few interviews, one for the Guardians, for the Dutch television. So it's been really busy. Yeah.
Expect to be qualified all the media attention around it?
No, not really. No. I thought it could happen, but I wasn't really expecting it. And then when it did, and I got phone calls from everyone, I was like, okay, it is getting pretty big now.
Does that take you by surprise then when those calls come through and everyone's interested in the story and the backstory behind it all?
It didn't really surprise me, but I'm not really the person that wants to be in the spotlight. But now that I'm in it, I might as well enjoy it.
And enjoying it, she definitely is. More to this story. The Dutch Darts Federation did say that they are fully standing behind Noah Lynn van Leuven's right to play. Now, that's a very important thing because a lot of world governing bodies are not doing that. World Athletics and World Aquatics come to mind because of what they've managed to do in the last year. Both of them completely banned trans women from competition. And those policies are filtering down to the NCAA level. You see, the NCAA next year here in the United States is planning to go with a policy where the eligibility of transgender women in collegiate sports will come down to what national and world governing bodies say. Now, with that in mind, you're going to have a situation where the national and world governing bodies will make the decision. The NCAA will follow suit to make their decisions. And that is where our spotlight is tonight. Because last week we told you about the impending lawsuit done by the Independent Council on Women's Sports, or as I like to call them, Karens Against Women's Sports. But who are the people who are running this thing? Who are the people running point on it? Well, this week in the NCAA basketball tournament, there's such thing as the Sweet 16. Well, tonight, I'm going to introduce you to the Sour 16. And that Sour 16 starts when you look at the Icon Women's lawsuit. The plaintiffs, there are 16 of them, all student athletes. And at the top of the Sour 16, who else? Riley Gaines, the former University of Kentucky All-American, best known for anti-trans activism, is trying to sell herself as an athlete who's, supporting other athletes. Oh, by the way, she currently has her own foundation, and it's ran by a whole host of right-wing groups such as the Leadership Institute, the Independent Women's Forum, the Concerned Women for America. And Riley, remember, she's been keeping the rounds. During the elections in 2022, she was stumping for candidates, including Georgia's Herschel Walker. By the way, her record for the candidates she supported, 1-15. She lost big. Oh, by the way, her teammate, Kate Wheeler, University of Kentucky, is an ambassador now for Riley Gaines' foundation. She's also a part of this suit. Now, Gaines plus all those groups I named were a part of a protest by the Roanoke College of Virginia women's swim team because a transgender student athlete at the start of last season petitioned to be on the team and then withdrew the petition. Then the school adopted the NCAA's ban on transgender women 1 year early as a response. Now, 6 members of this team are a part of the Sour 16. Here's that group. And one of the members of the union is junior team captain Lillian Mullins. Now, Lillian Mullins was the only member of the team to get all the way to the NCAA's Division III Nationals. She qualified in the 100-yard backstroke. Now, I'm just wondering, she finished 33rd. There were no transgender women in the competition. So, Lilia, I'm wondering, who are you going to sue? Just saying. Another member, Kylie Ellens. She's the most delicate out of this group. 2 NCAA champion relay teams at North Carolina State, 31-time All-American, 5-time ACC champion. Shown here in 2021, running a leg of that national championship winning relay. And she is a current ambassador for the Concerned Women for America. Another member of the Sour 16, Reka Georgi. She's a swimmer at Virginia Tech. She finished 17th in the 500-yard freestyle, the same event that Leah Thomas won. Oh, by the way, before coming to Virginia Tech, she was an Olympian for Hungary. You've probably heard of that country. That's also known as the Hungary that really doesn't like LGBTQ people. You know, Hungary ran by this guy, Viktor Orban, probably the most homophobic and transphobic head of state in the entire European Union and NATO. And meet the youngest and probably most highest, brightest future of all of the people in this Tower 16, Ainsley Arzon. She's a sophomore track athlete at the University of Kansas. Now, she's originally from Iowa. She's doing for soccer and track and field what Caitlin Clark is doing for basketball. All-stater in 2 sports, state champion in 2 sports, national high school champion last year at 800 meters. And she's been vocally a supporter of Trump Republican Governor Reynolds' anti-trans legislation, shown here at the ceremony where they signed the anti-trans student athlete bill. And her dad, Todd Arzon, if you watch Blaze TV, you've probably heard of this guy. He's Steve Deese's co-host. Also, there are 4 other plaintiffs who remained anonymous. 2 of them are swimmers, another 2 track and field athletes. So if you don't know who the Sour 16 is, now you know. Also, a small note about the sponsor of this lawsuit. Independent Council on Women's Sports, or as I call them, Karens against women's sports, because they don't care about women's sports. They're just here for the transphobia. I'm calling them out tonight for something. You see, they have an irritating habit on their social media of outing transgender kids, girls especially, who are competing in high school and even middle school athletics. And not only do they call them out on Twitter, they dead name them. Now, I don't know about you, but that really upsets me. It's one thing when you pick on adults, another thing when you pick on a kid and when you pick on somebody's kid. The next time that Independent Council of Women's Sports does that, I'd like them to go up to the mother or father of the kid they're demeaning and say to that parent's face, you have the right to be a jerk, but there's also consequences. And finally tonight, as you know, Sunday is Transgender Day of Visibility. And because Trans Day of Visibility is also on Easter Sunday, a lot of Trans Day of Visibility ceremonies and whatnot are moving to the days before or the days after. Now, one of those was in my neck of the woods. It was the Connecticut State Capitol, a flag raising at the state capitol to observe Trans Day of Visibility coming this weekend. And among those who spoke at the ceremony was yours truly. I leave you tonight with what I had to say.
Lifeline journalist and athlete, Carly Chardonnay.
Tell it, Carly.
We're
Good morning. It's good to see you all here. And if you're a UConn fan, I'm a Northwestern graduate, so I'm still a little bit sore about what happened last week. It is good to see you all here this morning, but let's ponder why we're here. We speak of visibility. Well, what's visible to me is that in 27 states in the U.S. right now, some form of discrimination against transgender Americans is codified in the law. Let that sink in for a second. Contagion of bigotry is falling on a large swath of our country, from Florida up to Idaho, west towards Arizona, east towards Ohio. And this contagion is every bit as harmful as COVID-19. And this falls in line by certain actors within our body politic to erode American democracy. And some of those actors, do not kid yourself, working this. We have a task to stop this virus with the same sense of purpose we showed as a state in the face of COVID years ago. We also head into a very sacred and solemn time. Easter's this weekend, Passover is coming. And we also are seeing the start of spring, even though the weather isn't following that just yet. But this is a celebration of renewal. So let today be a renewal as well. I call for a renewed commitment amongst those who say they'll stand with us to continue to be visible and be vocal against those who try to turn the progress we made since 2011 in this state. And that includes all of you who we sent to this building to represent us all. Let us not rest on the achievements we've made here in Connecticut. Let's expand on them right now. There are families coming to this state, my state, our state. They're fleeing anti-trans laws where they came from. They're coming here seeking refuge and relief. Let's come together for them. Let's keep pushing Connecticut forward, and let's send a clear message to those who seek to bring anti-trans bigotry here to Connecticut, because don't sleep. They're trying to bring that here. Let them know that this state, my state, our state, has come too far to go backwards. As we head to this day of visibility, let's send those folks a message that you are visible to us. We see you, and we as a state will fight you. Thank you all.
Woo! I'm Carly Webb, and this is Transposition Sports.